Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 2014 Nissan Altima. I'm going to show you something on this vehicle here. I'm generally a firm believer in going and turning rotors every time I put brake pads on. There is, however, times when a rotor looks like this here. And I can take my scale and I can lay a scale across and there's absolutely no light. And that's like a straight edge, by the way. This is a precision scale that I got here, a machinist scale. There's absolutely no light. That thing is absolutely 100% straight. The rear is the same way. So, also, and I'm not saying this is a factor, but this is an elderly lady that drives this. Obviously, by the looks of the brakes, we can tell the thing is not being raced or anything like that. Like I said, same thing over here on the rear. Hardly any lip on that. But as far as the surface itself, it's actually pretty straight. We can go ahead and just put brake pads on that. That is doable. Not saying that's what we're doing here today, but that can be done. So if I don't do anything to the rotor, this be one of the times that I wouldn't mind somebody actually just changing the brake pads. So that being said, I have to quote this out. Rear brake pads on this one is gone, so I have to quote that out. And if we decide to go ahead and fix all that, we'll turn the camera back on and make a video out of it. Alright, so I'll turn some rotors here directly. It's always nice when you don't have to sell nothing and the lady just wants to go ahead and do all the brakes, although these here really got 6-8 months left in it, but it is what it is. 14 mil brake caliper. I'm a little bit in a hurry as I want to send the rotors with the parts I'm fixing to get. So I'm gonna chill as soon as I get these off. She wants an oil change and all that good stuff. Well, they say bloody marvelous. Oh yeah. They're probably getting close to hit the squealer, so the brake pads are actually not all the way down yet. I mean, there's still room there. Actually, probably more than 6 months. Lady wants them done, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to argue with that. You're always going to replace the hardware, so I'll hang on to that. See what we got in the back here. 21, I hope. Nope, bigger than that, so won't be able to use my gadget, my little new toy. It was actually a 22. Well, I guess I could try to use an adapter, see if that works. That would be a possibility, I guess, although that adapter and all that good stuff take a lot of oomph away from it. So we'll give it a whirl. Doesn't like it. That's okay, we can't win them all. Ooh, my. Them were tight anyway. Trying to get out of your way. So this is what I was talking about earlier. These are actually nice and slick, but like I said, I always end up turning rotors. I don't care. I don't like to reuse a rotor. Any way you look at it, I don't like to do it. Of course, our front side here. We got cleanup to do here in a minute. I'm going to pause the camera up, get these rotors here ready. Turn the camera back on here in just a minute. All right. So, just in the nick of time, and then got the parts delivered. 14 millimeter, same as the ones in the front. Of course, you got these 2 pins. We'll throw them over here on the table. We'll go ahead and clean those up. We want to try to get the dirt and debris off of that. Of course, we got to clean up everything, and I'm just saying. These pads here, the ones that are actually gone. Same here. We're going to replace the hardware here as well. Do it later. Maybe we get lucky, and that's also 22. No, they gave us a different size on the saddle. Okay, this is going to be a 19, and power tool is not going to work on that. I can already see that. So I'm going to have to get the ratchet after it. That ain't going to work either. I don't think. Nope. I'll have to regroup on that one. Mess something up here. Of course, these have a parking brake assembly inside. I'll have to do a little bit of cleaning and adjustment on that. We'll go ahead and do this side, and then work myself to the other side. Lord of mercy, bolt is long. All right. My hammer. Like I said, front rotors, we're going to go ahead and cut them. This has a moderate amount of wear. It does have a pretty good step, and as thin as these are, I generally do not like to cut them. Not saying, I didn't say that you cannot cut them. You can cut them. I'm just saying I generally don't like to cut them. Face on this actually looks pretty good. Get the gloves off. Switch over here. Air compressor is just about to kick on, and pause you up for just a second. Alright, so there went the compressor. So put your rotor on here, and that's what I do. Put her on there, head on to the hole. So it's tight. Make sure you're good and centered. Make sure that you don't go too crazy on that. So you can hear it flex on the inside. So as you can see, I just clicked it one time. So, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I do. Some people might not agree with that, but that's okay. E-brake in this case here probably not going to get used anyway, so, well, that doesn't mean it's not supposed to be done right. I'm just saying, I'm not a stranger to people not agreeing. If I were to say 2 turns, somebody else would say 3. If I say 3, the other person says 4. Here we kind of want to watch so you don't spray your lubrication all over you recently cleaned pads. Not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. So kind of watch that, keep that in mind. This one, the hub is already clean. That's the reason I didn't do anything to it. Notice right off the bat, it was already clean. So lubricate the face. You can spray a little bit something in the rotor. Probably wouldn't want to get too carried away with it. Remove your rag, preferably. Rotor is in. Important part. Give that a little bit of a spritz with some lubrication. Makes it go in much easier. Don't forget your rubber plug. Matter of fact, grease would be a good thing actually. That would help seal it on the outside. So moving on to the bracket. Pull the hardware off of it. You just see the rust kind of flakes off of it, and this is why it is so important to clean all that underneath so that buildup doesn't jam up your brake pads. It's stainless hardware. There's nothing wrong with what am I trying to say? Leaving it dry on the top. Nothing in the world wrong with that. That ain't gonna make it seize. What's worse is what flakes up on the bottom. You see? Yeah. Do that with a power tool, of course. And I think I'm going to go switch to a power tool. This thing here is a bad little dude. One powerful unit. Whoops. Do want to make sure that you don't shoot your rubber. I did see, I know what I meant. The good thing. They'll kind of inspect that one too. Make sure they ain't all hard and brittle. So, that being said, I did tell you we're going to clean the pins up. You do want to be careful not to cram too much of that lubrication in there. That can go sideways on you. Let's do it like this. Put the other one in right quick. If these rubber boots right here, if they tear on you, they need to be replaced anyway. This one here is something new, guys. I'm trying it out. This is supposed to be the bee's knees, so we'll give that a whirl. There's a lot of people that really like that stuff. They say that's some excellent stuff. Woo! Slide good. Fair warning, it is rather pricey. I forget what that tube right there cost, but it is pricey. I know that. Like I said, I don't exactly remember how much it was, but if it's good stuff, I don't mind paying for it. Sure don't mind doing the customer a better job. Does not take very much of it. It is sticky, I'll say that. We'll get it on all the contact areas where our hardware sits. Probably ain't got enough on that one. I said, well, we don't need a ton of it. Put it on all the contact areas, on the sides. This is kind of white when it's in bulk, but it does actually, it's pretty clear once you get to putting it on, so kind of keep that in mind. Ceramic brake pads. Oops. Oh, got a drop seat. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. There is two different configurations here. Something to always keep in mind when you get a package of hardware that comes with your brake pads that's got double the amount that you need. Don't just assume, oh, these idiots put too many in there. There's a reason for it. In this case here, it looks like the spacing. There's obviously more hardware for a different application. So kind of keep that in mind. This hardware here would be what fits this. So put these pins back over here so we don't drop them. Flip that camera back around. Whoop, 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 whoop. These bolts have a washer, so careful. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that. Ended up having washers laying on my service cart. I'm like, what? Take everything back apart, just put friggin' washers back on. And that washer can also, not having the washer can also cause your bolt to be just too long and actually rub on the back of the rotor. Could be, I don't know. I'm just saying anything is possible. So if it's got one, put it back. If you forget it, put it back. I've never had one of these come loose. Some people put thread locker on them. I personally don't like to do that. I think it's more or less preference. Do what you want. Like I said, personally, I don't. I tighten the crap out of them, though. I do that. So, anyway, yeah, keep going. I'm not done yet. Ouch. Should have had that pocket knife, huh? Tiny little pads. Let's see about that. Putting our squeal in the middle. I mean, in the middle, in the back. And watch for this here. They should sit in there very easily, and they are. They are, in fact, they fit beautiful. They're not too loose, they're not too tight, they're just right. So that's great. That's what we want. Now, I'm not going to use power tool on that. We'll use a little bit of hand action on that one. We still got to push this one in. We'll clean the face. I'm going to rub over the top of this a little bit. It's got something on it we don't get a lot of. It's got salt from the other day. We've had ice, we had massive amount of snow. And this right here is not a phenolic piston. This is a metal-faced piston, so take our caliper grease, I'll put it on the front of these ears right here. I'll get that all lubed up. And we're going to lube the face of the piston, lube the whole entire thing. And yes, I just pushed that in by hand. You always know caliper is in good shape when you can do that. Make sure you don't pinch the rubber sleeves, your seals. Now, since these rotors are painted, I'm not going to put any kind of lubrication on it. Go ahead and hand tighten those. I don't want to put the impact on it. So, recap. This one here was a 19 and a 14, what you're going to need on it. You see me use wrenches, sockets, whatever. Adjust your parking brake. Or if you don't use it, don't care about it, don't worry about it. Put a little bit of grease on your rubber plug. Don't forget to replace it when you make your adjustments. Make sure it all moves. Put hardware, clean underneath the hardware before you put it on, lubricate everything. That one here is ready to go. So this time I'm going to pause up the camera, head on over to the other side and get it done, and then I'm going to have to check. Well, actually the lady wants an oil change, so I got to get the oil draining here in a little bit, and we going to head toward the front. I got to inquire and see if the rotor's about done. I don't, sometimes I turn them, a lot of times I give them to, in particular, one guy that works down there at the parts store. No advertisement, I'm not going to tell you what, but in particular there's one guy that is pretty particular about when he cuts rotors. I trust him 100%, so that's why I actually sent him, and he's going to cut him for me. And turn the camera back on here in just a minute. So brake caliper over here, or not brake caliper, saddle, it had a little bit water intrusion over here on this slide here. Slide's got a little bit of rust on it. I could tell it coming out. It did. I buy these brushes to go on my drill, on my driver I should say. Generally, if it's not too bad on the inside like this right here, that's okay to get it going again. I just figured I'd share that with you. The brushes, I get them at Harbor Freight. Fairly inexpensive for a big set, so I figured I'd share that part with you. I'll share this with you. On this one here, when I pushed in on it, we trapped a little bit of air. So I'm going to try to carefully lift with a really blunt screwdriver. I'm going to try to carefully lift the seal over here away from that piston and see if we can get the air out of it. So by lifting it up, but you have to make sure you don't destroy your seal while you're doing it. Use a really blunt screwdriver. I filed the edges on this one here. See, as you see, the air got out from under it, and it's back the way it's supposed to be. Figured I'd share that with you real quick. Oh man. Hopefully that is a 14. Damn, I did that without getting oil on me. The oil filter on this one here, guys, I don't know, those of you that might look for it, it's on the side over here. That's a 2.5 liter, and on the 2.5 liter they're over here on the side. Very easy to get to. Kind of make a little bit of a mess the way it drains on that frame. You really can't help that. I'm gonna pause the camera up. I gotta hop in the, well, I guess I gotta hop in the Acadia because my truck is at the customer's place, so gotta hop in the Acadia and go get the rotors. I'll be back. You won't even know I've been gone.
So real quick, I've been aiming to do that, but I hadn't done it yet. Quite frankly, I keep forgetting to say it. We, of course, all the professional shops use service data, you know, and that is something that we could always use and post up. But the reason I don't, and I don't know this, but I can only assume there is going to be legal issues in posting something that is paid for free online. So that's the reason I personally don't do it. Every now and then I post a little bit of something, but it wouldn't amount to anything. So I just figured I'd share that with you real quick in case somebody is ever wondering.
Okay, so I actually told this lady here earlier, this is a new customer. At least we think it's going to be a new customer. I guess it depends on how good a job I do here. But now, just all jokes aside, I told the lady she's been having oil changes done on it, and it's conventional oil that what she's been using on here. And I tried to explain to her. Really, I don't know it went over real good, but I tried to explain to her that this vehicle should have a synthetic oil in it. I don't know how much she believes that part of it or not. I tried to find a bulletin here from Nissan and tried to show her that. I do know that she's been getting the oil changed at Walmart. I can tell because it's got one of them chintzy cheap Walmart filters on it. Mighty, whatever they use. And also the push clip that goes in the bottom here, it's been removed and not replaced. We find that stuff all the time, unfortunately. So I'm going to use this Wix filter here on it. It's a 51358. Still oil on the face, so don't even go off on the seal. Needs to have oil on it. It's got oil on that face up there. 40 years of doing this says I'm right and you're wrong. If you're arguing, I agree there should be some kind of lubrication on there. Like I said, generally the face has got enough on it to lube that O-ring. Well, I misjudged that. Next size up. It still ain't gonna work. I may not have that size. That thing right there is gigantic. I got a lot of big sizes, but I'm about stretched to what I keep here. We can't have them all. I mean, it seems like every time you think you got another one that you might be able to use, and boom, you find there's another size missing. I mean, I've got a ton of them things over there in the drawer, and all the time there's other sizes that we need. So yeah, that one is it. That fits. I mean, how hard was that? You know, that keeps that plastic from flopping and rattling underneath. I don't know why people can't put these retainer clips back. Especially dealing with them places like Walmart. You know, these guys, I don't know that they get commission or whatever, but I don't think so. I think they're straight up hourly, but may not be. You know, either or, you should not leave stuff off the vehicles. I mean, that's ridiculous. We don't do that, and that's all there's to it. You know, I'm not saying that part cannot be left off of a vehicle on accident. That may happen. I agree with that. That is a possibility, and you know, we'll try to do our best though to not forget anything or put stuff back or purposely leaving stuff off of them. You know, that's just not good business. All right, so next up is a little bit of cleanup. Cleanup on aisle 3. Leave it to a Nissan. I guess they didn't like the old conventional round shape for a hub. They got to go one up on us and do something space looking. Blast it with some fluid film. Should have done that outside. I'm gonna blast the inside with some fluid film. He's done a great job cutting our rotors. They're really, really even. He took the bare minimum off of it. That's like I said before. This guy here, trusted 100%. No questions asked. So, same as on the rear. I don't think I'm going to go through the process of showing you all that. We got to clean this up, put the hardware on, bolt this back on. I'm going to pause the camera up. Save you a little aggravation. Get you some big old nuts that you can slip on. It does sometimes get aggravating when you have to hold the rotor in place to reassemble. That right there makes it a lot easier. Like I said, get you a big old nut. That'll take care of that. So, these have a couple of different sets of ears. One of the arms sits against the, right there against this hardware. That's what helps push back on that pad. The other one needs to slide in from underneath. It's going to be hard to see that. So this is what that looks like on the end. Like I said, one of them sits on the bottom, sits flat. The other one sits against the hardware. There is like a slide area that can go up and down, and when it springs out, that helps push the pad out. These are a little bit of a booger to put on. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes you slip them right in, and a lot of times I end up having a fight with them a little bit. But anyway, this finger rides against the hardware, and that kind of pushes it out. So that prevents a lot of the brake squeal and also the drag. And we'll go ahead and, well, I guess it don't matter. Yeah, camera on. We've put our hardware on, obviously. We made sure that our pins are nice and free. So, like I said, just a matter here of paying attention how you actually put the assembly in. Maybe it would have been easier if I should have probably done that beforehand. Like I said, they can be a little bit of a nuisance. Make sure that actually is in though. Alright, it's on the pad, it slipped in there. Looking good, so we got to push in our piston. We got to do that part. I hadn't done that yet, nor have I lubed it. Well, the betting man, somebody probably topped off my all-time most hated thing to do. Somebody probably topped off the brake fluid in this at one point in time, and we're probably fixing to overflow the brake reservoir. Wouldn't doubt that a bit. That's the way it usually goes. What did I do? My little brush. There it is. This don't look that bad. It really doesn't. We'll want to clean this up. What's that? Fortunately, we're not in a climate where this is going to be an issue. I know the guys up north, they probably make fun of us being wussies. Same thing. Little goes a long way. This is, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. This is ceramic fortified. Very, very good stuff. We'll find out, I guess. Of course, be a long time before we know, but and the other thing to be said, must always be careful not to twist your hoses. I think I got a video already that showed the twisted hose, where I guess I'm sure the customer done their own brakes and at one point in time, and that's probably what happened. Of course, they wouldn't tell you that. I wouldn't assume. They got everything tightened back up, of course, as far as the saddle. Clean brake hardware, of course, put on. You know, we got the goo on there. I gotta wrap this vehicle up pretty shortly. I'm sure the customer's done waiting now. Of course, they added a lot more work to me than what we originally was planning on doing, so I guess it'd be, yeah, no sense in actually going to the other side. I gotta clean that rotor up a little bit, and this here actually is just flat rust here that had paint on it. It's not bad. We're not gonna grind anything off of here. You see, as I did lubricate everything behind there. Again, I'm not going to do the other side. I'm not going to film the other side because it is redundant. I mean, this is how it has to be done. We've got a 14 millimeter on the caliper bolts, and then we've got, of course, the 21 or the 22. What was it? No, 22. Sorry, 22 on the bracket, and in the back it is a 19 millimeter on the bracket and the same 14 millimeter on the caliper. So that being said, like, subscribe, head on down that comment box and leave some comments. Good or bad, we take them. We'll see you on the next one. I don't know if the camera can see it. A little bit of a bonus right there. Bingo! There's a brake fluid. I don't know if the camera can see it, but quite a bit of it, so somebody decided to top it off. Well, yeah, I don't know. There you go, guys.